All right, we're going to bring up our vocalist Molly to do the next three songs, and the next one's called Misty. There's a famous old Clint Eastwood movie called Play Misty for Me, which is kind of fun to see sometime. It'll make you feel a little bit creepy about this song, but if you haven't seen it, it's okay.
Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree, and I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play. Or it might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear. I get misty the moment you're near. You can say that you're leading me on, but it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice how hopelessly I'm lost? That's why I'm following you. Wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. On my own, I can wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. I'm too misty and too much in love.
When you have a jazz band, you're always trying to find novel ways to do songs, and so we've kind of fused together the style of one song with My Funny Valentine. So we're not doing another ballad in a row, but this. So see if anybody knows what the background is for this song. It's based on something that George Benson did.
Funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? But don't change your hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. walk with me in the gentle rain. Don't be afraid, I've a hand for your hand, and our love will be sweet for a while. I feel your tears as they fall on my cheek. They are warm like a gentle rain. Come, little one, you have me in the world, and our love will be sweet, very sad, like a gentle rain, like a gentle rain, like a gentle rain.
Since we have two tenor saxophones in the band this year, we thought we'd end the program with a song called Tenor Madness. And this was, there was a recording session in the 50s that was the only recording that John Coltrane and Sonny Rollins made together, the two great influential tenor players from 50s and 60s. And Sonny Rollins is still around today. And so we're gonna let these guys mess around with Tenor Madness. Thanks. Thank you very much for coming out.
Well, it's become our tradition to do our chamber music and our new music and our jazz programs together in the spring and in the fall at the end of the semester. I always like to think that jazz is composing on the spot, and our new music program is choosing the things that we want to save for posterity. So I think it's a natural fit to have the two groups come together for the first and second half of the program. This second half of the program, we have 4 composers who have been studying this semester, and their first works from the semester, they are each required to do 3 projects over the course of the semester, and the works that are on this program are the first works that they composed, since we now have had enough time to actually bring them to rehearsal and get them onto the stage. To do the third work, which is sort of in progress, would be a little impractical. The second work is still in final stages in some cases. So I'm going to ask each of the composers to come up and say a word or two about what they've been working on, what they were thinking about, what was the source of inspiration, what were some of the challenges that they faced in doing these new pieces, and then we're going to perform them. So our first composer is Michael Crippen, who has written a string quartet entitled Fugue in A Major. So I'm going to ask Mr. Crippen to come up and say a word or two about it. He's also making his conducting debut this evening, so lots of new things to do this semester. Thank you.
Hello all, thank you all for being here tonight. As Dr. Griebling said, this is a first piece that I've written this semester, and it's honestly the first piece I've ever truly composed. I've had a few music theory classes throughout the years, and so I've had a couple of exercises, but nothing fully complete, a full musical idea, if you will. And this piece, I originally conceptualized it over winter break as just an exercise for myself. We had just learned about the form of fugue, and it was really inspiring to me. Just the fact of taking a small musical phrase or the subject and weaving it in and out in such various ways was really something else that I felt I could really do something with. And so I went ahead and chose a string quartet, as fugues are normally in 3 or 4 voices, so I thought this was pretty appropriate. And originally, I wasn't exactly sure what to do with this. I brought what I had to Dr. Griebling. She gave me some places on where to start, and I quickly got stuck. Unfortunately, everything I wrote ended up being very concise and very short, and I had to go and find books about counterpoint, about fugue, and that's where I got my real inspiration here. This is something that was a little bit more structured, something that I could follow, and it gave me just the amount of room I needed to be creatively free, while also being able to fully flesh out this idea that I had. And so that was our first project this semester, and it's really been interesting to look back on this semester. For right now, we're finishing up our second project, which we all have vocal arrangements that we are doing. And it's really interesting to compare this first project, the fugue, with the vocal arrangement, as both, at least my projects, are heavily influenced with counterpoints, which are just individual melodic lines placed against each other. And I find it really interesting the differences between writing something like a fugue, which I wrote as music just for the sake of music, and then writing something that I'm basing off a poem and then putting into voice, and all the word painting and inflections that I try and bring out in that go along with and sort of mirror the poem's emotional state and the wording of it. It's really been quite something, and Dr. Griebling has been wonderful in helping us all throughout this, and that is basically all I have to say. So without further ado, a fugue in A major.
Okay, I'm going to invite my next composer to come up and say a word or two about this work. And we are also extremely indebted and grateful to Dr. John Krebs, who's been playing all the piano works this evening. So we'll look forward to hearing the next three works that have piano in them. And Mr. Lowe is going to come up and talk a little bit about his piece now. Thank you.
Hello. I think Michael Kreppen pretty much said everything we have to say. This is our first composition piece that we did. It also, as well, it's my first full composition. It's very easy to write like 4, maybe 8 measures of music, but going beyond that is, as I found, as well as I think the rest of the composers as well, it's very difficult to kind of expand from the small ideas. And it's also very difficult to try and tie in 2 or more ideas together, which my composition for solo piano is like 3 separate ideas that I tried to stitch Frankenstein together. And it worked out, I think, pretty okay. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'd like to welcome Dr. John Krebs to play my piano piece titled Opus 1.
I'm Maxime Van Hoot. I'm a freshman this year at Hendrix. I too have written a piece that Dr. Krebs has so kindly agreed to play. What you would call my piece is a theme and variations, which means that I've taken a very short musical idea and have manipulated it while keeping a connection throughout the entire piece to this one small musical idea. I've learned through this project specifically that there are infinitely many possibilities you can do with only one idea of music. And that has like completely blown my mind. I've thoroughly enjoyed all of the projects that we've been working on this semester. I'm very grateful for Dr. Krebs and Dr. Griebling for being there to accommodate and facilitate our musical journeys. So the name of my piece officially is Opus 1 Variations Project. Thank you.
My name is Kui Pham. The piece I have for you today is something I wrote. It's called Reves. Initially, I didn't know what the piece was going to be about. I started off with a theme that sounded happy. I knew I wanted to write something happy. And I decided to write a variations on it. But I still wanted to be happy, so I had to make it a different kind of happy. So before I knew it, I had 3 different sections that were happy, but different kinds of happy. And at some point during my discussion with Dr. Griebling, I realized what my piece was becoming. I realized that my piece could characterize different stages of happiness in a person's lifetime. So I tried writing these different sections to characterize like maybe the happiness of a child, the happiness of leaving your home, the happiness of finding someone. And before I knew it, my piece turned out to be very long because of some structural things I had to do. But anyways, I hope you enjoy.
Thank